Ian, a 2-0 defeat by Aberdeen. There's loads of talking points and we'll get to them, but first of all, give us a summary of how you're feeling after those 90 minutes.
Well, I'm actually feeling quite buoyant. It's a strange feeling because you've been beaten, and it's never nice when you lose games of football. But I said after the Hamilton game that there are ways of losing games of football. Hamilton wasn't one of them. Today probably was. I felt as though we competed for long periods. I felt as though we had our spells where we could have gone and got something from some bright play, and we didn't just sit back and take what Aberdeen had to throw at us. The game got quite open at times, but you expect that towards the end. And I thought the young lads, not only Luke Watt, who went and had a great debut as a 17-year-old, fantastic, but the lads that came off the bench, Lee Owen and Dom Thomas, especially, that sparked the place, gave us a bit of life and gave us that second and third wind. And we could have got something in that period for sure.
We'll take the game from start to finish, if you like. The first half, probably the best word to use, we contained Aberdeen for large parts. They weren't cutting us open really by any manner of means. But you'll be frustrated at the manner in which we lost the goal. That must have been it. You must have been tearing your hair out at half time.
To have good possession in and around the halfway line, just short of, was it's what you want. You want good possession, and for a fullback, you want options on the ball. And I think Fraser just tried to force it a little bit into somebody's feet rather than the better option, maybe putting it into the channel for a front man to run onto. And that's decision making. That happens with young lads as well, and they have to go and learn from it. But also the diagonal run from Rooney, we haven't tracked that as well as what we could have done, and it's obviously put him in one-on-one with Dan. The second goal obviously is one of those that Mick cannot get out of the way of it. It's hit with such velocity. He's just got himself in the way. He's not put a hand out. It's hit him, and it's hit him at the top of the arm, below the shoulder, and to be sent off for that and possibly miss games further down the line would be a travesty.
I take it and assume we will be appealing that decision.
Oh, we do. I've seen it, so it's not. I'm not just making an assumption on what I saw in real time. So we'll appeal that one, and I think there's plenty of cameras here today to pick it up. So I'm sure we'll get off with that one.
I know you're not one to criticise referees, and I'm not going to ask you to do that, but how frustrating is it? Because there's about 3 or 4 minutes to go at that point. You mentioned Thomas, he's got the fullback on toes for times. Yep. There's a wee chance to get back in it, and that just completely knocks you in. It's like a body blow. It
does, and it deflates you, but a referee has to make a split-second decision. He can't have the replay of any videotape at all. So at times, referees get it wrong, and you have to accept that. We're human beings, we make mistakes, and it's no different from me being a manager. Wrong decision, players making mistakes, referees are going to make mistakes, and you have to accept it. It's part of the game.
I suppose the bigger issue for you, because there's only a couple of minutes to go there, and we've talked about it, but the bigger issue would be if McManus would be suspended for forthcoming games.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, that would kill us, because Mick has been a colossus at the back four there. He's a talker, an organiser, and to lose him for something like that would be not be great. So, all being well, people will see sense, and we'll have Mick for next week.
You touched on it in an earlier an answer about the young players and the impact they make. We'll single out one at the moment, and it's Dom Thomas. I thought he gave you the spark when he came on. You must have been pleased, because there's been a real clamour for the fans to see Dom in action in the first team. You threw him in there, and certainly today he didn't disappoint.
Well, he's one that I haven't just concentrated on the first team since I've first come here. My whole remit is to look at the whole club, and the under-20s are going to be a real special part for this football club, and Scott Leach and Jonathan Johansson have put together a group of boys who want a chance, who've got a bit of hunger, and when you see Dom can't wait to get on, he's taking his stuff off even when I tell him to go and warm up. That's great for me, and when they can back it up and actually go and play as well. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. They're young kids, and if you throw them in too early, too soon, you could lose them for a little bit longer. But they have got potential. And that's what they are at the moment, potential. Luke Watt coming in for his first game, his debut. There wasn't even a shirt ready for him yesterday. So he probably didn't expect anything like that. But he's gone and dealt with it. First 15 minutes, he's finding his feet. But I thought for the rest of the game, he went and had a fantastic game, and he can be proud of that. But we haven't got bundles of cash to go and spend on players. So we have got to use the under-20s and the young kids. And if they're knocking on the door with performances like that, then I'm there to watch. I'm there to nurture them, to help them along. They'll get the chance.
And also, I suppose it's not worth glossing over the fact that you've got a big injury list here. I mean, I'm sitting in the stand there, and there's almost 10 first-team players sitting behind me as well. That's going to mean these young guys get a chance, but it must make it difficult for you as well, because it's a very unfortunate and frustrating situation you found yourself in.
Yeah, I've inherited that, but again, in football, that's what happens, and you have to go and deal with it. And I'm not one. I don't like to fall back on whether it's an excuse, whether it's you feel sorry for yourself. It is what it is. If it's misfortune and we're just having that bit of bad luck with injuries, you've got to go and deal with it, and it gives opportunities to other people. I can't go around dragging my bottom lip on the floor because I've got a long injury list. Yeah, we have, and it's up to us to try and get them back as quick as possible, and we will. But we have to go and deal with the situation we are at the moment. I knew it when I was coming into it, so I've got to ride with it.
Final question: Dundee next week. It's a big one. You mentioned in your answer that you've come out with a bit of positivity. I'm sure now all the focus is onto that game. We've lost 2 in a row now. One was poor, one was a bit better, certainly in the second half. So I'm sure that's what you'll use going into this coming week. Yeah,
for the players, for me, they've had a busy schedule, and they'll have 2 days off now. We need to get rid. We've got 1 or 2 sick as well. Forgot to mention Josh Law in this morning early because he didn't sleep all last night, not feeling well. Cars, I've gone and put him on the bench, but he'd been 10 days in bed, so there was no way that he could give me 10 minutes really, but it was just there for insurance, for backup. There's players with Knox and Niggles and Reedy going and playing in the midfield there, where he has played there, but he's selfless in himself, putting himself out and say, look, I'll just play anywhere you want. And other people who have been carrying bumps and bruises, so they'll have 2 days off, clear their heads and come in ready for preparation for the Dundee game.
Ian, thanks for coming to us.
Thank you.